Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of April 2025. I hope you're safe and healthy today on this Wednesday morning. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives, and those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, as well as those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover. The teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that combine to create a demand that causes these evil and sick industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Resetting the table. Jalen Brunson, a young man that is a great basketball player, all NBA. Probably second time this year will be all NBA. High IQ, very intelligent. Came out and said that he's the one that has to set the table. That he's the one that's got to get his teammates involved, which we already knew. What happened was, with all the talk out of Detroit, especially from guys like Thompson, I saw Thompson talking about he had no problems guarding Jalen Brunson and others in Detroit. Jalen Brunson took that personally, and that was bait, and he took the bait, okay? And he went personally one-on-one at the Pistons. That was one of the reasons the Knicks lost the game. Now, first off, I want to stress for like 1,000th time. When there's a loss, I don't want to hear why didn't, why can't, why not from y'all. They lost. They are professional. That is the Knicks players, including Jalen Brunson, including Tom Thibodeau. They have enough understanding to know that when they lose, there are reasons for it. They don't need y'all second guessing and them trying to place blame. That's the big one. Who's to blame? That's the thing that kills me. There's sometimes, maybe y'all do this in your own personal life. There's always somebody to blame for your problems. Sometimes there's no blame. It just happens. They just lost the game. Okay? And guess what? In basketball, that happens. Teams lose games. Even good teams lose games. Okay? So there's no need to second guess or blame. And this is the thing that's the craziest thing about it. Y'all act like by second guessing and blaming, it's going to change what the Knicks do. They ain't listening to you, nor should they. Tom Thibodeau don't listen to you. You ain't writing his $11 million checks, nor should he. So the second guessing and blame game is strictly whining for clicks. And y'all, of course, fall for it because you need that psychotherapy, I guess. But my channel ain't for that. I'm not trying to look for every loss. I'm not trying to look for somebody to blame or try to second guess as if that would change the outcome. It doesn't. You can't control that. That's what drives a lot of people crazy on the side note. Trying to whine about things you got no control over. You ain't got no control what Thibodeau does. You ain't got no control whether the Knicks win or lose. All you could do is cheer and encourage them or be negative and discourage them. And I don't want the negative ones around me. You know, that's bad company. So, back to Jalen Brunson. He realizes, of course, that he fell into a trap. He also realizes he needs to get his teammates involved. This is not the first time we've seen this. Okay, I think this is Brunson's third year with the Knicks. So he has done this before, and somebody will say, well, why does he do it? Well, why do you make mistakes? Don't tell me you never made one, and don't tell me you stopped making them. Because he's human. It happens. These are not robots programmed to do exactly the right thing every single time. They make mistakes. They fall into traps. It happens. Okay? So Jalen Brunson is human too. And he fell into a trap. But the good thing about our boy Brunson is that he realizes his mistake and realizes how to fix it. Number two, I want to say real quick, if you don't know Tom Thibodeau by now, it's like the song, if you don't know me by now, you ain't never going to know me. Tom Thibodeau will never throw his players under the bus, even when he knows they made mistakes that cost the game. He will never do that. Okay? So he's not going to come out and say Brunson should have passed the ball to Towns. He's not going to say Brunson shouldn't have tried to take a whole Detroit Pistons one-on-one. He ain't going to say that. Because he got the players back. For all you Tibbs haters out there, he got his players back all the time. And I got his back all the time. So all you say, why can't and why not? And blaming, don't expect no sympathy from me on that. And you never hold Tibbs accountable. Oh, let me address that real quick. Your whines ain't holding him accountable. All you're doing is hurting the team. What holds a pro NBA coach accountable? The guy that signs his checks, which ain't you, and him getting fired by the same guy. He ain't getting fired. He just signed a 3-year extension, so you got him. So all this whining about holding him accountable is bullcrap. Y'all ain't holding him accountable. All you doing is whining. And that's all the media, and people get off on it. I guess people, I remember when I was in sales, one of the things I was taught was, people that complain are louder than people that are satisfied. That is why, you're trying to, in sales, you get all these things and you'll probably get them, how was your experience and what do we do and how can we improve? They want more input from the people that are satisfied. Because people that want going to make their voices heard, loud, okay? And that's y'all. And y'all get off on that. Not here, though. Please don't do it here. I'm trying to tell y'all for the 1,000th time. You ain't getting no sympathy from me about trying to, hold Tibbs accountable or some bull crap. This is on Tibbs and all of this. Get out of here with that. It ain't going to work on Raw Hebrew channel. Go do that on Twitter or somebody else that got cheese for your wine. I ain't got none. But I'm very encouraged, again, about Jalen Brunson understanding what happened because he's an intelligent young man. And knowing that he has to make adjustments. And I'm sure, 100%, that him and Tibbs and Towns and the whole team had serious conversations after a loss. And they will all say that. If you ask the players, they've asked once in a while, what did Tibbs say? And they'll say, we can't repeat it. Because they keep everything in-house. They don't let it out to the media like some whiny, you-know-whats. Okay? It's all internal, which it should be. Just like the Don. He don't let his decision-making, his issues go out into the public, which is why you got a whole bunch of knuckleheads and numbnuts out here always guessing about a trade or about what the Knicks are doing to that, when nobody knows. How you would know is logic. Like, for example, I said the Knicks should pick Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes. And how did I come to that conclusion? Because I know Thibodeau. I know what type of coach he is. I know what style he is. I know what he looks for in a player. And those guys fit the bill. I didn't have to be in the Dons in the Saints to know Thibodeau would like those two guys. Why did I say the Knicks should trade for OG Anunoby and that they should trade, a year before it happened, that they should trade Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, though I didn't like that. I knew OG Anunoby would be a game changer. Why? Because this is what sound basketball organizations do. And OG is the type of player you want to add to a championship. And as I said at the time, before the trade happened, it was trading future value for present value. OG represented now, RJ IQ represented future. Like they's going to be really good in the future. OG is ready for that chip now. Why did I say a year before it happened, the Knicks should reach out to Minnesota about Karl Anthony Towns and that Juju would be involved with the trade. I didn't like DiVincenzo being involved. I didn't think about that. But why did I say that? Am I a prophet? No, I'm not. Logically, the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves was not liking that tax bill. It was in the news. And he was going to have to pay Towns more than 50 or in some cases 60 million a year. So that's the logical piece you got to move to keep your tax bill low. And that was a year before because it was coming. And that's what happened. So a lot of times it's not about trying to guess about a trade or fantasy. It's about logic and understanding who your team is and what they're trying to accomplish. In the case of the Knicks, we always talk about it, long-term sustainable winning. That means at the beginning of a season, even the haters at BSPN look at the Eastern Conference and say, well, the Knicks are going to be in the playoffs this year. We just got to figure out where. That's that's when you know you've arrived as a long-term sustainable winner. And Thibodeau is in his 5th year and has had 4 trips to the playoffs. Okay? 2 back-to-back 50-win seasons. Now you are officially a long-term sustainable winner. And they don't fire that in the playoffs. One of my friends I had to really blast because fired Tibbs after they lost the game. A playoff game. So, you expect them to fire Tibbs now? Some people, man, it's like, really? Come on. You obviously not a fan. Because if you was, you wouldn't be talking like that. And that's what I'm saying. Let me ask y'all, if you in the heat of something, your rent is due, your mortgage is due, you behind on something, you struggling. The last thing you want to hear from somebody is criticism about how you screwed up. Yeah, that's what y'all do to the Knicks all the time. Anyway, Brunson understands what he needs to do. And the good thing is that he's going to make the adjustment. And the Knicks are going to make the adjustment. He's got Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, both of whom can handle the ball extremely well against full court pressure. And then Brunson goes off ball. Now, Brunson, of course, we know he is a master of footwork. He is one of the greatest. Well, he's probably, I would put him definitely top 3 in the league right now as active players in terms of footwork. Okay. Master level footwork. It works best when he's got his defender on the run. Like he can get you one-on-one too. We know that. But he don't want to get suckered into that because that, as we know now, and as he knows, it freezes out the rest of his teammates. But if you let Bridges and Josh Hart initiate that, which he has done, and he's off ball, you let his defender chase him through 1 million picks. And then he gets the ball, which you haven't had to chase him through 1 million picks. Now he's got you in the office, and there's a problem for you, right? So that's what I believe they're going to do. Second, another thing is I saw the NBA report. I knew that the NBA reviewed the games, but they only reviewed the last 2 minutes. That 14-2 foul shooting edge in the first half, somebody need to look at that more closely. But what they did admit was that Josh Hart's dunk, I think that dunk tied the game, that he should have had a foul because Duren fouled him, which is extremely important to that game. Duren had 5 fouls. He fouls Josh Hart there. He's fouled out the game. Hart is on the line. That's a whole different ballgame. Okay, so we could definitely say officially now that the refs blew that game for the Knicks. Okay, officially, because the NBA came out and said it. They should have called the foul on that. Okay, now, and they said with 8 seconds left, Towns offensive foul on Schroeder, which was irrelevant with 8 seconds left, and it was down 6. But anyway, that play there with under 2, it was 1:16 to go in the game, and the Knicks were on a run. That could have changed the game. And so I'd like to point out to all you haters and why nots and why can't and blame Tibbs and blame this one. Listen, the Knicks did not play their best game. We know they did not play it because Brunson admitted he was caught up and he wasn't feeding his teammates. And even though they were down by 15 free throws to the Pistons, so the refs were in the tank for the Pistons. You had the refs in the tank for the Pistons. And that's why if you notice the game, there was one particular ref, the light-skinned dude, that Brunson and MitchRob and others were just staring at him because he was obviously in the tank, okay? He was making it too obvious. They need to look at him. But even with all of that, it came down to 116 left and one shot. So they weren't playing their best ball. And it came down to 116 left and one shot. Now, for tomorrow's game, I'm expecting Brunson to have more allowance of Bridges and Hart to bring that ball up, instead of him having to battle Thompson, bringing that ball up and wasting 6 seconds on the shot clock. Secondly, I'm expecting Towns to get more than 11 shots, okay? He should have somewhere in the same shot vicinity, plus or minus 2 or 3, that Brunson has. So if Brunson has 22 shots, Towns should have somewhere between 18 and 24 shots. Okay, those two things. Now, defensively, yes, I don't think we have to really change much defensively. The game was 194. Okay, so it wasn't like it was no high-scoring game. They shot 22% from 3, so it ain't like the Knicks ain't play no defense. No, they just need to keep that defense the same. And OG needs to be on K Cunningham ass, and then with grown-ass man energy, and let's keep doing everything the same. Now, rebounding, we do need some more rebounding. So that is an effort thing. People look to make changes at any negativity they see. Either it's a trade, or in this case, they're looking to reshuffle the deck of the lineup. You don't need to do any of that. Everybody that's on the floor just needs to be cognizant that we need to get boards. That is everybody. It's the weak rebounders like Mikal Bridges to the strong rebounders like Josh Hart. We got to understand, everybody in between, got to understand we got to get boards. When that's a mindset, everybody will be involved. You know, Deuce McBride, when he's focused on it, he gets rebounds. Deuce McBride gets rebounds. And of course, you out there with him and MitchRob. MitchRob, obviously, even in a bad game, he got 7 boards. So it's just got to be a team collective mindset. Rebound. It's not like about you need this guy or that guy because this guy can rebound, this guy got. No, they all got to have a team gang mentality on the boards. And they're good at that, and they've done it before, and they could do it now, especially since we got Mitchell Robinson. Yes, you will see sets with MitchRob and Carlton and Towns. I feel like MitchRob, I call it MitchRob, Towns, and 3 midgets, because it's usually MitchRob, Towns, and a combination of Payne, Deuce, Brunson, and Shamet. It's usually something like that. Or sometimes you throw Hart in there with them, and then you put 2 other midgets. Usually it'd be Brunson and Deuce. You have something like that, I like that lineup. And I think you're going to see it. You're going to see that lineup a lot tomorrow night. Okay, because it's effective. It gets rebounds, and you got defense out there. So, especially when Brunson's cognizant that he has to get his teammates involved. We're hoping Deuce McBride's shot starts to fall. He was 3 of 7 last game, 2 of 4 from the field. He scored 8 points, but he's a better shot even than that. We know that. He has shown it. See, this is not something we need to guess about. We're talking about our history, even recent history of this season. Deuce has shown when he's healthy, he could now nail down some shots. So that needs to happen. We get that from him, as I mentioned last week. He's one of those keys. We know defensively he's going to come out and play. We know defensively he's going to be in lockdown mode. There's no doubt about that. But that's a constant. But if he can knock down that spot up 3 or that floater that he developed this year on a consistent basis, that's a difference maker. Like Cameron Payne was a difference maker Saturday night. You can't have the same guy all the time. Sometimes it's gonna be Payne, Shamet, whatever. But what I'm saying is, Deuce can be that guy, that consistent guy, because you know what you're getting from him on defensive end. He's in the rotation, so he's gonna get a lot of minutes, and that could be very effective. So for tomorrow night, expect Brunson to be more off ball, which is very good. Expect more gang mentality to get them boards, because we can't be letting them get all on 50-50 balls. We got to get them. And then expect, that lineup of Towns, MitchRob, and 3 midgets to be on the floor for a good, I would say you got to run that lineup for at least 10 minutes, okay? And I think Tibbs will. Overall in the game. And then he'll probably close with his starters. Tibbs likes to close with the starters unless the team that's on the floor is making a 21-0 run, then he keeps them out there. But generally he likes to close with his starters. I expect Towns to get at least what Brunson gets in terms of shots, plus or minus 2, right? So those are the keys here. And then, because this is the thing, man, I'm just going to say, the Knicks are a better team. They just got to play Knicks basketball. Detroit has done an excellent job in every area in terms of playing good defense, rebounding the ball, really getting after it physically. And then, of course, they have done a great job of getting in Knicks' heads, especially Brunson. Okay, great job. But all things being equal, the Knicks are better. And they just got to, and they've done a great job taking Knicks out of their game. See, taking the Knicks out of their game. The Knicks got to show the veteran leadership, the mental understanding in terms of they know what had just happened, they know what they got to do, and they got to take care of that business. So key is Brunson giving up the rock, getting his teammates involved, like he says, setting the table, team getting rebounds. I want to see 44 rebounds. That's the number, 44. 44 rebounds. Then getting Towns that rock, especially at the close of the game. He's got to get that ball. He's got to get his touches. I don't care if it's on the post or at the top of the key. Freaking Tobias Harris cannot guard him. Okay, so they need to do that. That's why you had Brunson, you had Durham with 5 fouls. He can't guard Towns. Okay, he can't. So you get Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris only had 2. That means Towns didn't get the ball enough. We got to fix that, and I believe they will. 44 rebounds, a gang rebounding mentality. I'm expecting the Towers and 3 midgets out there for at least 10 minutes during the course of the game. Brunson being more of a distributor in terms of off ball. Like, that doesn't mean he's going to have more assists. People look like, well, he needs to average 8. You can't say what he should be averaging. That's high school. This ain't high school. This is the league. He could be getting the hockey assist and don't count as assists, and it's still just as effective. We just need him to be more off ball and let everybody get their touches. Okay, especially Karl-Anthony Towns. So the last game, Mikal Bridges got 18 shots. And I don't mind Mikal Bridges getting 18 shots, but you can't have Karl Towns with 11. Bridges can't have more shots than Towns. Bridges getting 18, that's not unusual. Towns getting 11 is the unusual thing, okay? So is what it is. We move on. They're going to look at that film. They're going to know what they need to do. Defensively, I think we solid. To hold them to 11 to 100 points in that game where they had all them free throws, I think the Knicks did good. Just keep that same defense. OG's energy should be focused on Cade. Yes, we'd like him to score more. He only got 10 points, but that's okay as long as his energy is focused on Cade Cunningham. So this last game, Cade Cunningham shot 11 for 21. We cannot have that. He got to shoot below. I mean, that's below 50%. No, it's not even. That's above 50. You got to have him shooting below 50%, man. He was 1 for 4 from 3. But he was on the line 12 freaking times. So that's the refs. The Knicks playing good defense. They just need to keep that up. And say, there's your formula. So, you know, let's go into Thursday getting ready for this game in Detroit. I ain't worried about how many fans they got. As long as we there, right? So, and keep that wine. I ain't got no cheese. Enjoy your Wednesday. Sure.